Hi, I'm Cheri Fogarty, founder of Creating My Best Life and Habit Gratitude for Kids, where we show you how to get happier and more grateful children and be happier and more grateful yourself. And here's one thing you can do this week to bring more gratitude and happiness into your home. And it's also one of the things you actually have to do and know if you want to teach your kids to be more grateful and if you want happier and more grateful kids, and that's to be the example. This week you need to be the example. If you want your children to be more grateful, you have to be more grateful. We have to practice what we preach if we want our children to practice what we preach. So this week isn't a tool, it is actually a state of being, a state of awareness, and that's for you as the mom, just like taking your oxygen mask on a plane first and then helping the person next to you or your child. You have to focus on your gratitude this week and be the example for your children while you do that. Because when you're more grateful, when you model more grateful words and actions, that's what your kids see. Actions speak louder than words. Do as I say, not as I do. That's kind of what we're getting at here. So when we model this for our children, when we show them that gratitude is at the top of our priority list and our to-do list, that we're focusing on it and that we're aware of it and that we're modeling it for them, that's how they learn. That's one of the ways they learn. Because no matter what other tools you've tried or any of ours, if you're not doing them with your children, then they just think it's one more thing, that's great, thanks mom, but if you're not doing it with me, then why should I do it? And if you're not grateful, why should I be? So that's what this week is all about. It's focusing your thoughts, words, and actions on being more grateful. So you can do this in one of several ways. You can do any of our other previous tips or tools, or any tips and ideas and tools that you already do. If you keep a gratitude journal, whatever it may be. One of the easy ways to model this week would be to use one of our tips, the waiting in line tip, where every time this week you find yourself waiting in line, you just stop and think of things that you're grateful for. And then in this case this week, when you do stop and take time to think about what you're grateful for, tell your kids, let them know, say, hey, I was just thinking of things, these 3 things that I'm really grateful for, or, and talk about them, and also model that for your children, and then use your words of gratitude and appreciation towards them and towards others, and make sure to point out what you're doing. Don't assume, yes, they do hear you, and yes, all of that soaks in, but make them really aware that you're making a conscious effort and a conscious choice to do this. And then for example, thanking the person at the grocery store and really thanking them. Somebody who helped you at checkout, somebody at school, the bus driver. Thanks so much for driving, the kids to school every day. I really appreciate you getting them there safely. Super simple things, whatever you want to do this week to focus on gratitude and to catch yourself when you're not. If you're blaming or complaining or not just generally being grateful or appreciative, stop and let your kids know. Say, hey, I was just complaining about the rain again. And that's not being very grateful, because here are some great things about the rain, and I'm going to change my thoughts and my words and my attitude towards it and be grateful instead. So that's it. Super simple, super important though, because again, we can't even think about teaching our kids to be more grateful if we're not more grateful ourselves. And not only do we want happier, more grateful children, we want to be happier, more grateful ourselves. Of course we do. That's what all of this is all about. So let's help ourselves this week. Let's be happier, more grateful, and let's model that for our children so we can continue teaching them the habit of gratitude and to bring more gratitude and happiness into our lives. So that's it. Super simple. And now it's your turn. I hope this tip has served you, and now I would love to hear from you. What strategies or tools are you going to use this week to be more grateful and model it for your children? And what do you think of this tip in general? Do you think as parents we have to model this for our children? Do you think it helps us teach them to be more grateful? Or do you think we can teach them to be grateful without being grateful ourselves? I think it's a loaded question, but I'd love to know your thoughts anyway. So, and as always, if you liked this video, please subscribe to the channel and share it with your mom or dad network. And if you want even more tips, tools, strategies, and ideas for how to get happier, more grateful children and be happier, more grateful yourself, head over to CheriFogarty.com after the episode and sign up for email updates. Thanks so much for being here, for being a mom or dad, and for everything you do each and every day to be the best one you can be. And here's to all of us, changing the world one child and one family at a time, starting with our own. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.